Good morning, class 12. I am Sana Uzma from the Millennium School. Children, in today's session, I am going to discuss with you the effect of temperature on rate of reaction. As I told you in my previous lectures, where I discussed the factors affecting the rate of reaction, that concentration and temperature are two most important factors determining the rate of reaction or affecting the rate of reaction, wherein I have already taken up concentration as the factor affecting the rate of reaction, and under concentration I discussed with you the order of the reaction, the molecularity of the reaction, the rate law expression, which are very important for your board examination. Okay, so in today's session we will be considering temperature, and again, to understand the effect of temperature on rate of reaction, you need to recall the collision theory. And collision theory is already explained to you, which says that only those reactant molecules which undergo effective collisions will lead to formation of product. Now, what does this effective term mean? Most of you must be knowing this if you have seen the previous lectures. Effective means the molecules undergoing collision should possess proper orientation and proper energy. All the collisions are not fruitful. Only those collisions which have proper orientation and proper energy, which hit each other with these two factors in a proper way, will lead to the formation of product. So when we are talking about temperature, obviously when you increase the temperature of any reaction system, what will happen? The frequency of collision, that is collision frequency, will increase, and when the collision frequency will increase, the probability of effective collision will also increase. So obviously the rate of reaction will also increase. So you can see here, in most of the reactions, on increasing the temperature, the rate constant increases and hence the rate of reaction. So generally you can say that in maximum cases, in maximum reactions, when you increase the temperature, the rate of the frequency of collision increases, and hence the rate of reaction will also increase, and rate constant also increases. As you can see here, that rate constant and rate both are directly proportional to each other. When K will increase, obviously the rate will also increase. So this is how we understand the effect of temperature. Now, to further know this in detail, we are going to study the effect of temperature under two headings, that is approx dependency of rate constant on temperature, and then accurate dependency of K on temperature. So now please pay attention to these concepts, children. These are very important. So approx dependency of K on temperature is known as temperature coefficient, or it is deduced with the help of temperature coefficient, where R is directly proportional to K. R is rate of reaction and K is K is reaction constant. So generally what happens, whenever the temperature is raised by 10 degrees Celsius, it is observed that rate constant generally doubles, or in some cases it becomes 3 times. So it is either 2 or 3. So you can express it as temperature coefficient is equal to K at two different temperatures which are differing by 10 degrees Celsius is equal to 2 or 3. It is generally a ratio. You can see here K at T degrees Celsius, and this is K at T plus 10 degrees Celsius. If I say that this K is determined at 25 degrees Celsius, then this K is determined at 35 degrees Celsius. So when there is an increase of at least 10 degrees Celsius, it is observed that the rate constant becomes twice or thrice of its initial value. So here is a common example. You can see that if suppose at 10 degrees Celsius the rate constant value is K, then at 20 degrees Celsius it will become 3K. If I say that the ratio is 3, please mind it that if I say that the ratio of these two rate constant is 3, then it is getting 3 times on every this 10 degree rise in temperature. So at 10 degrees Celsius, if it is K, then at 20 it will be 3K, at 30 it will be 3 3s are 9K, then at 40 it will be 9 3s are 27K. I hope it is clear. Now again, to make it more clear to you, I have a very simple question in front of me. For a particular reaction, temperature coefficient given is 2. Now if the rate of reaction is 20 degrees Celsius, at 20 degrees Celsius is x. Please note it down, children. Find the rate at 80 degrees Celsius. So if it is given that at 20 degrees Celsius the rate constant value is x, then what will be the value of rate constant at 80 degree Celsius? So try to do it on your own first. You can say it, you can call it rate of reaction or rate constant, whatever is given in the question, because both are directly proportional according to this expression. Fine. So if I say that at 20 degrees Celsius the value of rate is x, or rate constant, whatever is given to you, it is x, then at 30 degrees Celsius with 10 degree rise in temperature it will be 2x, then again with 10 degree rise in temperature it will get double, then again with 10 degree rise in temperature it will again get doubled. So like this you will move on till 80 degrees Celsius to find out the final value, starting from 20 to 80. But you need to show the gradation of 10 degrees Celsius at each step. And then since the value of temperature coefficient given is 2, you will double the value of rate of reaction, rate constant, at each level, and finally you'll get the answer as 64x. So I hope this is clear. So approx dependency of K on T, that is rate constant on temperature, is calculated with the help of temperature coefficient. Temperature coefficient is what? It is the ratio of the value of K at two different temperatures differing by 10 degrees Celsius at least, and the ratio says that K at higher temperature upon K at lower temperature is equal to 2 or 3. You might get this as direct question in your board: define temperature coefficient or explain temperature coefficient, or you may get a numerical in 1 mark or 2 mark question. Okay, so moving on to the next part, that is accurate dependency of K on T, which is Arrhenius equation. Another very important topic for your board examination, children. This is very important. So temperature coefficient tells us about approx dependency, because the ratio can be 2 or 3. In some of the cases it can be 2, or in some cases it can be 3. And if you want to know the accurate dependency of K on temperature, you will be needing the Arrhenius equation as mentioned here. So Arrhenius was a scientist who gave this expression. I'll explain you what this expression is. According to this expression, rate constant K is equal to A into E raised to the power minus EA upon RT. Now you can see many new terms here, but as I'll explain you, the terms will be clear to you. So first of all, R, you know, R is what? R is gas constant, universal gas constant, and the value of R is 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin, and the T is temperature. So these two terms are known to you. You have done in class 11. R is universal gas constant and T is temperature in Kelvin. Now what is A? A is Arrhenius constant, or it is also known as frequency factor. It is also known as frequency factor, Arrhenius constant, or it is also known as pre-exponential constant, because E represents exponent here. E represents exponent here, and A is present prior to this, so it is also known as pre-exponential factor, where EA is activation energy. Okay, and this E is exponent. This E is exponent, and I have mentioned the terms here also. You can note it down. K is rate constant, A is frequency factor or Arrhenius factor or pre-exponential factor. Okay, and this small e represents exponential constant, which you must have seen in the expression for log, and EA is activation energy. Please note it down, children. Pause the video and note it down so that I can move ahead. So again, coming to the collision theory. Though you know now most of the things about this collision theory, But to explain you these terms, the terms which were used here, which are used here in this expression, Arrhenius equation, to explain these terms like activation energy, basically, we need to again consider the collision theory. Okay, now first of all, according to collision theory, again you need to or the reactants need to cross two barrier, orientation barrier and energy barrier. Now what is the meaning of orientation barrier? Orientation barrier means, see here I have taken a very simple example. A2 is reacting with B2 to produce 2AB. That means the molecule, the particles of A2 are colliding with the particles of B2 to produce the product. Now what is effective collision? Suppose this is A2 which is arranged in this way and this is B2 which is arranged in this way. The two are undergoing head-on collision here. One atom of A is colliding with another atom of B, leading to the formation of AB, which is the product. And again this atom of A is colliding with B to form another molecule AB. So as a result we are getting two molecules of AB, which is the product molecule. So this is only possible when the molecules are undergoing head-on collision with proper orientation, that whatever the requirement is, they are colliding in that direction only. So this will lead to such a collision will be considered as effective collision, which will lead to the formation of product. These are head-on collision or effective collision. Now let us understand what is ineffective collision. Suppose A and B are colliding in this way. Please pay attention, children. If molecule of A and molecule of B is colliding in this way, then only this atom of A and this atom of B, that is one atom of each molecule, is coming in contact with each other. These two are out of contact. So obviously the product will not be formed in such a case. Again, if the collision is like this, that is A, the orientation of A is different and B is different. In such a case, all the atoms which are required to collide together so as to form the product are not coming together, not colliding together. So the orientation is not feasible for the formation of product. So it will be considered as ineffective collision. So this is what orientation barrier says. I hope it is clear. So for effective collision, the head-on collision in this way is mandatory to form the product. Now let us move on to another barrier, energy barrier. Now this graph was discussed earlier also with you, but again I am taking this graph here so as to explain you the meaning of activation energy. Now this axis has the energy and this shows the reaction progress, reaction coordinate. So you can see here the reactant is present towards this side and the product is present towards this side. The position of the two can be different, like this can be a little higher and this can be a little lower, or both can have the same energy, or there can be difference. So it is not constant every time. And this arrow indicates, this double-headed arrow indicates the energy of the reactant, that is the energy which reactant already possess, and this represent the energy of the product. Okay, and this mountain like or hill like structure that you see is the energy barrier which the reactants need to cross in order to form the product. If you directly compare, you can see that the energy difference is very low, but this is the initial energy and this is the final energy. But before reaching to this stage, the reactant has to cross this barrier, and this barrier is known as transition state. Unless the reactants are crossing this barrier, they cannot form the product. So reaching this crossing this gradient, crossing this slope is very difficult. Once the reactant molecules have reached this level, then they can very easily form the product. So what do they need for this? This is the energy which is possessed by the reactant molecules already. They need this much of extra energy, okay, in order to cross this barrier. So the extra energy which the reactants require or need to form the product is known as activation energy. This is the energy, initial energy possessed by the reactant. Every body has some energy of its own. So when you are taking any reactant molecule in a container to form the product, this is the energy of the reactant, which it already has. But unless this extra energy is provided to it, it cannot form the product. And this extra energy which is provided to the reactant is known as activation energy. And then finally, when the product is formed, then this is known as energy of the product. This the level of this energy depends whether the reaction is endothermic or exothermic, so it can be different for the different reaction. So here is the description. You can see ER represents the energy of the reactant, EP represents the energy of the product, and EA is the activation energy. Very important term. You might get this to define also. And now, what is this total? If you extend this line up to this level, then this whole line represents the threshold energy. Now, threshold energy is the minimum amount of energy which the reactant must possess in order to form the product. Okay, so please try to understand the difference between threshold and activation energy. Threshold energy is the minimum energy which the reactant should possess in order to form the product. This whole represents threshold energy, and activation energy is the extra energy which is needed to be supplied to the reactant in order to form the product, or in order to cross this energy barrier, this transition state, to form the product. So you can say that threshold energy is equal to, threshold energy is represented by this ET. So threshold energy is equal to the activation energy plus energy of reactant. I hope it is clear, because you can see that threshold energy includes this also and includes this also. So it will be the sum of EA plus ER, or you can say EA is equal to, activation energy will be equal to threshold energy minus energy of reactant. Clear? So here I have mentioned the definition for you. The minimum energy that the molecules, which molecules? Reactant molecules need to have in order for a reaction to occur. That is, this is the minimum amount of energy that the molecules, reactant molecules, should possess in order to form the product. Okay, and it is known as threshold energy, as mentioned here. And what is activation energy? It is the extra energy needed by the reactant molecules to cross the energy barrier and form the product. Okay, the extra energy, very important term here, the key word here. This is minimum energy and this is extra energy which is needed by the reactant molecules to cross the energy barrier and form the product. It is activation energy. So I hope it is clear. The two barriers are clear to you. Please see this entire page once again. Effect of temperature. Approx dependency is given by temperature coefficient, and accurate dependency is given by Arrhenius equation. And then to explain this Arrhenius equation again, we will have to consider this collision theory, and the term used, activation energy, in the Arrhenius equation, I hope is clear by this graph and by these terms. We will be discussing more about Arrhenius equation, and the numericals also will be discussed in the next session. So please children, revise this properly before watching the next video. Unless you are thorough with today's session, you won't understand the next video. So please children, properly listen to every fact that I told you in today's session, and try to write down the notes by pausing the video. Whenever you feel that you have to pause the video here and note down the point, please pause and note down the points. But the notes should be made along with the explanation only. Thank you for watching the video, children. Have a nice day.